Hey everybody, it is Thursday, the 19th day of May 2022, about 12:05 in the afternoon, and let me show you about where I'm at. That is the Visitor Center at Shiloh National Military Park, is where we are at. They got some nice things in there, and they got some a really nice movie, if you ever come here, that you should watch. Gives you a good history of what happened here. The battles themselves were on April the 6th and the 7th of 1862, and the Union soldiers came in and landed over through there. The cemetery is over there. I'm going to start this over there. That building there, by the way, is the bookstore. So they made it to match what this looks like. But we're going to go over here and start looking at some stuff, and I'm going to bring you this battlefield as this video. If you're interested in Civil War, stay tuned. Alright, so you see by the sign right here, the U.S. 55th Illinois Infantry was here on the 5th, or on the 6th, April the 6th, 1862 at 5 p.m. And they bivouacked here Sunday night, it says. And they've got a couple of representative cannons here. And then they've got this monument right here. So I won't show you all this stuff, but I'll just give you this one as representative. So you can see this battery consists of 4 20-pounders arrived by the landing April 5th, 1862. During Sunday, the guns were brought to hand to the position and did good service of resisting the afternoon attack upon this line of the battery and 6 new assignments. So you can see again, just representative. There's some over there. If you can see over there in that field, there's quite a few over there. But anyway, the National Cemetery is right over here behind this gate. So we're going to head that way and show you your bearings. There's the bookstore. Back there's the Visitor Center. Here is the gate of the National Cemetery. And until this was a national park, this was all that was here for years. You can see this thing here, so you can tell, you know, if you want to pause it and read it, you can. We'll walk through here. And here says the address by Lincoln of the Gettysburg, which, you know, this is not Gettysburg, but, you know, they decided to put that here for some reason. And that's the Shiloh National Military Park headquarters, is that building there. All right, so you can see they've got this all paved out. So we'll maybe look at a few in specific, but, you know, way too many here to look at, but I just want to walk through and just show you kind of what happened here. That well over 1,000 were killed on each side, and in total, from what the movie said, the wounded, the missing, and the dead equaled just about 24,000, just shy of that number. But almost 24,000. That the Confederate Army had just shy of 45,000 in total, whereas the Confederates had about 66,000. So the Confederates were way outnumbered. And while this was a loss for the Confederacy, in a sense, when you look at the numbers, this was almost a dead even tie. And in that sense, the South actually won it by numbers. But of course, you know, they didn't hold the ground, so ultimately, they did lose it, and so you can see right there, and you can start seeing some of the graves. Now, this is an actual real graveyard. That this was never moved. I asked the ranger, and so those people that were buried here back there in 1862, they're still here. You're seeing them, and there are many, many, many here. Let's just look at this monument here very quickly. You can see this is all cannons, and there's cannonballs up there at the top. This says headquarters, General U.S. Grant, night of April the 6th, 1862. So that's what this is representing, is he had his headquarters right in here, which obviously this wasn't a graveyard at the time. So let's go through here, look at all the beautiful trees and everything. Now, 2 school buses showed up here, and there's a bunch of kids, so I'll do my best to stay away from them. All right, let's keep on going and looking. As I look back to where I came from, which was over there. Look at these gorgeous trees. They probably won't even show up to the real size of what they are. These things are huge. And look at this one right over there. I mean, you truly have the living among the dead. Now look at this. I want to just show you, give you a little representation. Look here. There's not even names on these little ones. That's 698. That's 697. 696. And it goes on down the whole row. Go to the next row. 636. 637. 638. Now these little bigger ones here, let me show you. So this is somebody obviously that they knew. It looks like it says J.I. Stratton, Corporal, Indiana. And he's number 639. Next to him is 640, and that's A.G. Spratt of Kentucky. So look at that. You got a Yankee laying right there. You got a rebel, so-called, laying right there. Right side by side. And yet they fought on opposite sides. But here they are, all mixed. Look at down here. Look at the row after row after row. And again, look at this gorgeous tree here. See, this starts 635 row. Here starts 560. W. Lucy, or Lossy, L-O-S-Y, not sure how you pronounce that. Doesn't have a, a date, doesn't have where he's from, doesn't have anything at all on it. But, as you look over, I mean, this just goes on and on here. And look, this goes way through there and way back down in there. There are a lot of dead here. Another gorgeous tree. Several of them down through there. Pittsburgh's Landing is right down there. We're going to go down and take a look at that in a moment. But here is a circle, and you can see they've got the U.S. flag flying up there. And this says Section A. On that big pillar there you can see. They've been having some of these rhymes. Let me show you these. The neighing troop, the flashing blade, the bugle-stirring blast, the charge, the dreadful cannonade, the din and shout are past. And that, of course, is because they're dead. And here you can see there's a guy from Missouri and a guy from Illinois. Right there. This guy right here is from Missouri. This guy's from Illinois. They're laid out side by side, and yet they were complete mortal enemies on the battlefield. H. Smith, U.S. soldier. There's a guy from Ohio, Illinois, so those are all Yankees together. But you can see that they did not separate them as they were separated in life. Pretty awesome in a sense. Your own proud land's heroic soil must be your fitter grave. She claims from war his richest spoil, the ashes of the brave. All right, so let us go over here and look at this last one. Rest on embalmed and sainted dead, dear as the blood ye gave. No impious footstep here shall tread the herbage of your grave. And so you can see the graves going down through there. There's cannon over there. So we're going to go read about Pittsburgh Landing and see where the Federals came into here at. If you'll pause this and read this, you will learn a lot. I did not know this. The first day of March, 1862, Louisiana troops, they actually held this bluff. And then there was actually a fight here. This was the first fight before the April engagement. But just, pause that and read that as you've gone along there. And you'll see that they were coming up this hill. I mean, look at this. And they call it a bluff, and rightly so. There's a squirrel right there. It's a little cutie. But look at it. I mean, I don't know if you can tell. You probably can. I mean, this little part here is steep. Then a little flat part, and then, of course, steep all the way down to the river. They had to come up this thing, fighting, and took this over and went back through there somewhere where a log cabin was and all, if you read that. So, You know, both sides were just stronger than I can ever imagine. But anyway, let's go down and find Pittsburgh's Landing. Here's an act just about the establishing and protecting national cemeteries. If you want to pause that and read that. I came down these stairs here, and then there's a nice brick walkway up there. I came from up there on top where the cemetery is. You can see you can drive down here. Here, let me start you this way. You can come from up that way, which is where the headquarters is, the visitor center. You can see you can drive down, and this just simply flips right around. So I assume they put this down here so that people who can't walk down here can drive down and still see what's called Pittsburgh Landing. I don't know if this is the specific area, but this is the only thing that's open that I can get to without breaking my neck here. And on this sign right here, it does say Pittsburgh Landing. There we go. All right. So obviously then they came along here. Now I'm sure this was completely different. Obviously it wasn't paved. I'm sure this is a pretty steep hill. But they landed here, disembarked from their boats, and then headed up that way to set up, as I showed you earlier, where Grant had his headquarters, and of course what is now the cemetery, where apparently they bivouacked around through there and on past. But this is the Tennessee River, so you can see it and listen. Very peaceful place, huh? So very peaceful. But here, just to show you that I was here, there's the Pittsburgh Landing side. Hopefully that's getting me in it. So I'm there on this day, May the 19th, 2022. And so we're going to go back up, and I guess the next part of this I'll show you parts of the park where, of course, the battle took place. Before I leave this area, I wanted to show you one little thing. This is the side where they walk down, so they got it all bricked. And it goes up these steps here, and that's what they look like. Some of the cemetery right there, but you can see I came down over through on the other side of those trees over there. And right here you can see it's kind of flat. It's part of a wall that you can then see goes through there. So we're going to head back, start driving through here, go to the sections where this happens. We'll make sure we get the Shiloh Church and the Hornet's Nest, and then some other sites, of course. So stick with me, and let's go see those areas. All right, right here is where this tour starts at. This is stop number 1 on the official map, so you can pause that and read all that. What this is, you can see all the way through here, there's a line of cannons that goes through here. This is where Grant ended his very first day, so this would have been April the 6th. And so this was his start when he got reinforced on the 7th with Buell. It was on down through there. So again, this is where his day ended, which is almost where it started as far as where they landed. And of course, then they started to push on back this way to push the fellows out of here. Over there's a couple of memorials. This great big tall one's from Iowa. That one there says Indiana. The next one says Indiana. Is that Indiana all the way down there too, the third one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm told those are all 3 Indiana, but Iowa. You can see that big beautiful tree there. But right there, that's the visitor center. That's the bookstore right down there. And so Pittsburgh Lane is right down there, so that's where they came on to shore, right there. Started here. They went several miles that way. That's where they met the Confederates. The Confederates pushed them all the way back up here. And then that second day, they pushed them all the way back to where we'll be heading. So we'll keep going and take a look at this whole thing. All right, you see this memorial right here? This is the Confederate Memorial. This is where the Confederates had captured nearly 2,100 Federal troops that had been fighting in the Hornet's Nest. Let's take a look at these signs. I haven't looked at them myself. Defeated victory. So here you go. So you can read. You can pause that and read that. You can pause that and read that. Pause that and read that. And here you go. So these two cavalrymen here, on that end of it, you can see, spread his hands in frustration. So you can read that, all about what that's about. These up here, soldiers, their ranks diminished by the first deadly fighting. Well, we understand that Johnson, Confederate commander. And then the 11 soldiers represented the 11 Confederate states. In the spirit of the first day's battle, exuberant, hopeful, courageous, and fearless, the young Confederates advanced into battle. So that's that. And again, there's the memorial right there. And then this one here. Just pause and read that. And that. General Benjamin Prentiss right there.
It's a good point.
You are here. Timeline. All right, it's truly big. You can see that. So in this inset here, now this is what they were talking about. Couldn't see those before. That's 11 there. Here you can see these women up here. And then that, look at that guy there right in there. And that definitely looks like defeat. And right there. So these are big. Here, just to show you how big this is if I can. Hopefully you can see them and me. They are very, very, very tall. So that's memorial. So that's number 2 on the trail. Let's keep going. See the sign there says Duncan Field. This would be Duncan Field. And what is important about this is that the Federals held this ground, this field here, for 7 hours on the first day before they lost it. And then, of course, they were driven back, as I showed you. But the next day, they, of course, took this, and as they took the whole battlefield at that point. They've got a great big monument to Iowa over here, to her 2nd Infantry, Tuttle's 1st Brigade, W.H.L. Wallace's 2nd Division, Army of the Tennessee. And you can see they got that representative of that little wooden fence down through there. But with the bright sun, this is the field they kept for 7 hours the first day, and then it was reclaimed by the people who actually own it, and then it was lost forever the next day. This one right across the street from Duncan's Field is for Indiana Infantry. Here you can see. Pretty nice monument. We got a smaller monument out there. Then there's one up there in the center. And then that again is Duncan's Field right there. So we're going to go there and check that out in a minute. Okay, we're back to Duncan's Field. So here you can pause and read this. Pause and read that. Pause and read that. And here you can see a little bit of the battlefield and how it went from times. And you see over here, the battle reaches Duncan's Farm. So here you can read all of this. I guess I should have showed you this one first. And there's a timeline of it, April the 6th, 9 to 11. So, like I said, the Federals held this for 7 hours before they had to give it up. And then you can just see some of the things here on the field here. Here's an old cotton field, hurled but 5,103 men. This happened 10 to 11. So was this right here. This blue was at 9 o'clock. So you can read the little index thing down there. And then this is where I guess they return the next day. Yeah, this is April the 7th from 8 to 11 a.m. in the morning, where the Federals had taken it back over. Alright, so then you can see that fence all the way down through there, but let's keep going to the next stop. Alright, just as we go along we drive, now you can see they put up these kind of monuments with all these cannonballs. You see that one there says Ross. So it says U.S. Headquarters, 3rd Brigade, Army of the Tennessee. Colonel L.F. Ross, I think it says, of Illinois. So they put these up to show you where basically headquarters of these various generals and stuff were. Right over here is tour stop number 4. So we're going to go up here and we'll go take a look at that line of cannon.